François Legault had a remarkable political rise and ultimately a spectacular political fall. Love him or hate him, Legault has left an indelible political legacy in Quebec. He came from the world of business. He co-founded Air Transat in 1987 before entering the world of politics in 1998. He served as a cabinet minister in several portfolios in the PQ government of Lucien Bouchard. After a few years in opposition, he left the PQ and politics in 2009. But 2 years later, Legault was back with a radical new idea and a new party.
We cannot wait forever and be divided.
The idea behind the Coalition Avenir Quebec was to reject both federalism and Quebec independence, and to try to build Quebec's economy and fight for Quebec values while remaining, reluctantly, within Canada. It was a gamble that paid off big time. In 2018, the CAQ won a landslide majority. Legault began implementing his ambitious agenda, including passing Quebec's controversial secularism law, Bill 21, which bans some civil servants, including teachers, from wearing religious symbols at work. Just as Legault was getting some momentum in his first mandate, everything changed with the pandemic. Legault became a daily, reassuring presence for Quebecers, and initially at least, his management of COVID-19 was widely praised. During the pandemic, the CAQ soared in the polls, and at one point, Legault was the most popular premier in Canada. But cracks started to appear. There was a backlash to the strict pandemic curfews imposed in Quebec, and dozens of seniors died in horrible circumstances in long-term care homes that were locked down, unable to be with their family members. Still, in 2022, Legault and the CAQ were re-elected with a comfortable majority. But then things started to go very wrong. As public sector workers, including nurses and teachers, went on strike for better wages post-pandemic, Legault resisted them but supported a hefty salary increase for MNAs, including himself. Around the same time, his government used taxpayer money to fund NHL exhibition games in Quebec City. The controversies and scandals started to pile up. The ill-advised on-again, off-again third link in Quebec City, the disastrous launch of the Automobile Insurance Board's online platform, SAC-Click, the loss of hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars in the doomed Northvolt battery plant. As he slid further and further in the polls, Legault tried to change the channel. He positioned himself as Rocky, ready for one last comeback.
Dans Rocky, il dit, c'est pas la force des coups qui compte, c'est la capacité des encaisser et d'être capable de continuer.
That fell flat too. A cabinet shuffle and a reset of priorities didn't move the dial, and neither did a prolonged and ultimately fruitless showdown with the province's doctors over their compensation. But just before the holidays, François Legault was still vowing to stay on. Now he's gone, at least as soon as they find his replacement. Ironically, the debate over independence that Legault thought Quebec had outgrown when he formed the CAQ will now likely dominate the next election campaign and may wipe out the party he founded completely.